Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's continue with our learning on Hybris. So in this Hybris tutorial, till now we have seen how we can set up Hybris in our local, what are extensions in Hybris, how we can create our custom extension. In the previous videos, which were most important and the base of Hybris, we had seen about the data modeling concept. Now, in this video, I will explain in detail about the impacts. In today's video, we will cover below's agenda, which are overview of impacts, need of impacts import, need of impacts export, what is the structure of impacts, operations that can be performed through impacts. We will see some hands-on session. We will see how we can import the data, import the impacts, and how we can export the impacts. After that, we'll go through some tricky questions which usually ask in interviews. So let's go through the overview of impacts. So impacts stands for import and export. So from import, IMP has taken, and from export, EX has taken, and hence the name impacts comes. It is out of the box CSV based import export framework. In the Hybris has extension, impacts, which is inside platform-ext folder. If you go inside platform directory, then here it is ext folder. Inside this ext folder, we have this impacts. So that is the structure, or we can say the directory of impacts. This Hybris impacts engine converts the impacts statements into SQL format. Developers has to deal with only impacts. SQL statements are not used at all. Impacts in Hybris is used for importing data from CSV file to Hybris system and exporting data from Hybris system to CSV files. The impacts extension that we had just seen, that basically helps in inserting, updating, deleting, and exporting the data. Now we will see what is the need of impacts import. So as we all know that in the e-commerce site, we have data for products, promotions, prices, stores, countries, or customers, etc. And all these data has to be inserted into Hybris system so that these can be displayed on the site. Hence, in order to insert such kind of data in Hybris, we need the impacts import. Also, if you want to synchronize data with other systems such as ERP or LDAP, then in that scenario also we need impacts import. Now, this impacts import can be done at the runtime from HAC, or when we are doing the initialization, or when we are updating the system. At that time, we can do the impacts import. Now we will see what is the need of impacts export. So whenever we need to take the backup of data, we have to export that data into a CSV file so that later it can be imported into the Hybris system. Also, we have to keep in mind that whenever we are initializing the system, then at that moment we have to take the backup so that once the initialization is done, we can import the same data again. Now we will see what all operations we can perform with the help of impacts. So with the help of impacts import, we can perform insert, update, and remove operation. And with the help of impacts export, we can export the data from Hybris system into a CSV file. We will see the details about these operations in some time. Now let's see about the structure of impacts. So Impex is divided into four parts basically. One is header, the other is value lines, then macros and comments. In header, the syntax is basically we define the operation. So in header, we can define four types of operations: insert, update, and remove. Once operation is defined, we have to define the item type. If you are not aware about the item type, then in the previous video, we had discussed in detail about the item type. The link of the video is present in the description box, and also in the top right section of your screen, you are seeing the link. After defining the item type, we have to define the attributes. Let's go through the each and every operations mentioned in here, which is insert, update, remove, and insert update. And let's see how it is behave in the real world. So here you are seeing that I have written these four impexes, which is insert is the operation, unit is the item type, code is the attribute which I have defined unique is equal to true. So here if you are seeing unique is equal to true, then it simply means that it refers the key attribute, or we can say it refers the business key. If in this header part we are referring more than one column as a unique is equal to true, using those multi columns, the values which are present in that column, that will be considered as a unique. So currently in this table unit, if a code is mentioned as unique is equal to true, then at the time of insert it will be checked that this pieces, that code is not present, should not be present. If this in the unit item type the pieces code is present, then insert operation will fail. So in order to check this, first let's go through the HAC. So we have come here and I'll write a select query which will basically check that what are the entries present in the unit item type. So here we can see in the code pieces is present. Okay, now let's go to the console and Impex import. Let's copy this insert Impex and paste in the HAC. So here you are seeing this import content option and the import script option. So if you have the Impex as in whole, then instead of just copying and pasting this code in here, you can write simply import that file by selecting this choose a file and then simply select. If you don't have the file, then you can simply write the statement, import statement, Impex statement in here, and here you are seeing everything is green: unit, code, conversion, and unit type as green. It simply means that this item type is present, and inside this item type these all attributes are present. If you type something else, then it will give error, and same will be the case for attributes. So say if you are typing something in here, then it will give code 34 as red because this attribute is not present in this unit item type, but other attributes conversion and unit type is present. Now let's first click on this validate content. It will simply validate whether the format of this, the syntax of this Impex is correct or not. So it has validated. Now I'll click on the import content. Now here you are seeing that import has encountered problem. And what is the issue? It is saying that the item exists. Conflict between existing item unit pieces, type pieces. So here in the Flexi search, we have seen when we run the query, in unit item type, then we had seen that this particular code is present, and that is why if it is present and you are trying to insert some other code, then it will work fine. But if you are in the impacts statement, you are simply trying to insert a already existing code, then it will definitely fail and give error. So now if you will try to insert something, some other value, right, then this will work fine. So here you can see that import finished successfully. Now we will again go to the flexi search and we will run the statement. We will run the query, select star from unit, and in the result you can see that now two rows are present. One is for pieces and one is for grams, which we had just inserted. Now we will see the update operation. So similar to insert, we have update. The difference between insert and update is that if the item is present and you are trying to insert the same item, then it will give the error. And in case of update, if the item is not present and you are trying to update that particular item, then it will give the error. So in case of unit, as we have seen that pieces and grams are present, and here it will check for this particular code that this should be the unique. If this particular code is present and we are trying to update any of its attribute values, then it will definitely work fine. But if suppose we are trying to update a, a item, a code which is basically not present, so kg is not present as we had seen, and if we try to update this, then it will give the error. So we have validated the content of the impact as the format is correct. So it is saying that import script is valid. But if you are trying to import the content, then it will give the error that no existing item found for the update. So if you want to update, and here in case of grams, if I am simply writing gr, and after validating the content, if I'll try to run this import content, then here you can see that import finished successfully. Now let's go to the flexi search again and run the query. Then here you can see that in case of grams, the unit type is now gr. Previously it was grams only. Now let's see about the remove operation. So with the help of remove operation, we can remove any existing value. So if you want, here in case of remove, you simply have to provide the unique value, right? So let's see by running this statement and import content. Import finished successfully. Now let's go to the flexible search. Friends, if you are not aware of this flexible search query, then no need to worry. I'll create a separate video on this flexible search query only. Now you can see there that we have only one entry present, and it is of pieces, as we have removed just now, as we have removed the grams. The fourth operation that we can perform using this impacts import is of insert update. Okay, so in case of insert and in case of update, whatever activities we can perform, we can do, so those activity can be done with this insert update command. So if this grams is not present, it will insert this. If gram is present and we have to update some of its value, then we can the value will be updated using this update command. So it is insert update is a combination of this insert and update. As we have just seen that the grams is not present but the pieces is present. So let's change something in the pieces. I am changing the conversion and the unit type to PC. Now let's check in the unit item type. Then here you can see that grams is now inserted and the value of pieces is updated. Now friends, in some of the interview it is asked that what will happen if you try to insert the same value twice, right? So let's see what will happen. So here I am just validating the content and importing the content. So here you can see that it gives the error cannot insert item because it exists. Conflict between existing item unit kg type kg. Let's go to flexible search and see what is present in the unit item type. So here you can see that one row is inserted, okay, but the second row which we were trying to insert got failed. Reason being, when the second row was trying it was trying to insert the second row, it checked whether the code is present with that kg value or not. As it was present, so it gave the error. So with this we have seen basically the operations, what all operations we can do with the help of Impex. We can do insert, update, remove, and insert and update. Right. Now let's deep dive into the technical details of this syntax of the Impex. So here with the first line we can define the header. Here we whenever we are writing the values, the first thing we have to start with this semicolon. What this semicolon refers is that we are simply putting the value here that it should be run for this item type unit. After that, whatever value is defined, it will be on the basis of the attributes that are present in the header. So first one is code. So here it should be code. The value related to corresponding to code will come here. After that, the separator will be semicolon. So the values which will come after the semicolon, that will be treated as the value which is belong to the next attribute present in the header. So these are the simple impexes. Now let's see where we can define the macros. So for this, let's take an example. So now I came to the storefront and search for this product 45572, and here what we will do is we will update the name of this product using the Impex. So for this friends, I have written this particular Impex. The lang present here and the catalog version present here are the macros. Macros is nothing. It basically allows it basically allows aliases to stand for frequently used items. So if we have to use this catalog version, then here like we are using in here, so it will be difficult for us to describe this catalog version every time. It will be too lengthy for us. So the simplest approach is that in the macro, as a macro, we will define this catalog version and the language or any other thing which you want to use in the header, that we can define as a macro, and simply we can use this particular macro in the header. So like we have used language catalog version in the name we have used this lang. So the name which will come here is for en local, right? Similarly, the summary will be for this en local. Description is also similarly for this en local. Now here what we have, let's change the name of this product. Product name using impacts. Let's copy this, go to HSE, copy this impacts, validate it, and click on import content. So here we can see that import finished successfully. Now let's go to the storefront and refresh this page. So here we can see the name of the product got changed. So with the help of impacts, we can do the changes in the live system, in the running system as well. Without restarting the server, we can do the changes. And as we have done the changes in the online catalog, that is why it got reflected. Otherwise, if we would have done the changes in the staged version, then after doing the synchronization, we can see, we would have seen that the changes will be reflected only after doing the synchronization. Now let's see the other details about this impacts. So here we can see this catalog version, and inside this catalog version we have defined a catalog, and we have defined this ID, which is for apparel product catalog, right? So here we are seeing these brackets. So what is the significance of this brackets is that this currently referring to another item which is used using the business key. So in this example, we have one catalog version item type, and catalog version is pointing to the catalog item type, which again is pointing, which basically again is referring to this apparel product catalog ID, right? So this catalog version basically is pointing to this catalog item type, we can say. So this is the significance of this bracket which we are seeing. Now if you want to put comments in the impacts, then you can put in this way. Wherever you can put, just put this hash sign, and that part will be commented out. So suppose if you are sending this impacts to some other third party or any other person, then you can simply put the comment over top of this impacts or before the starting, that what this impacts does, such kind of like this impacts is updating the name of the product. So such kind of information you can put using the comment in the impact, so that the person whoever is going through that impact will understand why we have written this impact. Now we will see how we can export the values. So in case of export, what happens is, in case of export, the data from Hybrid system is copied into a CSV file. So for that, what we can do is, we have this impact export option, okay, in HSE, using which we have to run our script in there, and with the help of that, we can do the export. So I'll just show you a shortcut way. Just go to this back office, your back office, and type script. Here you are seeing script generator, and what kind of script type you need. So here we are just putting the migration. And now when will you click on this generate? You can see in the script section. Let's copy this and put it in the notepad. Here we can see that all the impexes are copied. So all the item types which are currently present in the system, corresponding to that, all these impexes are copied. So a script is generated for all these. So using this, what we can do is we can do the export. Let's take the example, one of the example. Okay, so let's export the products. So here we can see that the script is present for product CSV. Let's copy this. We'll go to the HAC export, and in the export content, let's paste this script. We'll validate the content and let's click on the export content. So here now you can see that this zip file is copied. It is downloaded. Now suppose if you want to download the export, if you want to do the export of only one product, so how you can do that? So for that, whatever data you want to copy, you have to write the insert update command in here. You have to put the target file in here, and here you have to put the pk, select pk from product, where the code you have to mention for which product code you want to do the export. Okay, so this is the important line point. It should be impacts.export items flexible search. We are doing a flexible search. Select pk from product where code is equal to, you have to mention the code. After that, collections.empty map, and after that, collections.singleton list, item.class true true -1 -1. So this statement you have to copy at the end of the impacts, and I'll also put this line, I'll put this line in the description box so that if ever you want, you can copy it from there. Now let's copy this and do the export. So we can see that the export is done. Let's click on this so that it will start download on your system. Now friends, let's see some of the important topics related to the impacts import. Right. So suppose we have seen that we can perform 4 operations using the impacts, and when we have to do the impacts import, at that time we have to pass the code as well, right? Or anything unique. But suppose in the whole item type you have to perform one operation, then how you can do that? Suppose we have products, right? Inside the product item type we have thousands of products. If you are talking about the production side, then we have thousands of products, and you, if you want to update some attribute in all those in all those products, then how you can do that? It is not feasible or possible that you copy each and every line of the products. You can type, and or from any means you can type the code of those 1,000 products as a value in your impacts and do that way. It is not possible. Or suppose if you have multiple customers, right? You have thousands and lakhs of customers for your uh, on your site, and suppose you have introduced email functionality, or suppose you have introduced SMS functionality on your site, and if you want to turn on that, turn the flag of those particular attributes on, so that customer can get notification whenever you want to send something. So in that scenario, what will happen? It is not at all feasible that you can update the code or put the code of each and every customers. So in that particular scenario, there is batch mode. So let's see what batch mode is. So here, what basically we are doing is we are updating the customer, right? by putting this batch mode is equal to true. So it is telling Hybris that for every customer, irrespective of irrespective of the code given, you have to update this email preference attribute. So the value for all this, for all the customer, the email preference value should be true. So this is telling that part. So use batch mode is equal to true whenever you want to do the operation in a bulk. Next thing is, friends, suppose there is a scenario where you have to escape some special characters in your impacts while importing the impacts, while doing any of the operations. You have to escape some special characters which is by default is not supported, and it will give error. So how you can do that? How can you remove or escape? It is not basically remove, it is basically escaping. So how you can escape those characters? So the thing is that here we have to use this path hyphen delimiter command. So whenever you are updating or inserting anything, any of the item type, then you have to provide this path delimiter. So here it is simply saying that in the sync job, if there is any such special characters because of which this impacts process can be failed, then in that scenario we have to provide this path hyphen delimiter is equal to colon, so that all the special characters which will be present at the time of insert or updating this particular item type sync attribute descriptor config, so it can be ignored, special characters can be ignored. So this is just a reference for this particular item type. But remember, if you want to use this escaping the special characters in your project or for your item type, then you can use in this fashion. And here above you are seeing mode is equal to append is given for sync principles, right? So what does it mean mode is equal to append? What this modifier is telling? So it is basically telling that in catalog version sync job item type we have a code, right? Corresponding to that we have some sync principles, right? So if we have any principal sync principle present, so don't overwrite those sync principle. If we have any uh, sync principle present, then after that, whatever we are putting in this value, just append that value. Don't overwrite the sync principles. So this mode is equal to append modifier is also very important. The other thing is default is equal to false. So here if we have provided the value as true, right? But suppose if we have not provided any value, then in that case what will happen? It will by default take the value as false. So these are the important modifiers. So with this, friends, we have covered the impacts export topic fully, and it is a very important topic. You can update the running system using the impacts. You can with the impacts import, you can fetch the details that are present in your hybrid system and export it in a CSV file, and later you can import it somewhere. So all these details you can fetch it, and hope I have technically explained each and every aspect of this impact. And after this, at least you have a flavor, and as you do hands-on on your system, the things will be getting more clearer to you, right? I hope you have enjoyed the video. Kindly like it, subscribe the channel, and please share the video with your friends so that if they want to learn something related to this impact, they can do so.